Good evening and welcome along to the Broadcasting Lounge. Second night in a row we're joining you. We went qualifying and top 10 shootout last night. Tonight we are racing at the Red Bull Ring. First round of the MRX Enduro Cup for 2025. And it's an hour and 45-minute race tonight. So big, long race. I'm going to need lots of people to keep me company in the lounge tonight. And that's why I've got not just Corey, but also Douglas alongside me tonight. How's it going, guys?
Absolutely awesome, and Dougie, and finally we get to have the three of us back again.
Yes, and indeed, we've got the trifecta happening here tonight, folks, so hopefully we'll be able to keep you guys entertained and finding some awesome battles out there, and if not, you will be able to entertain you with some interesting yarns.
Not long now until the guys line up on the grid. This is a quick look at what we've got in store tonight. Grand Prix configuration of the Red Bull Ring, 4.28 kilometre circuit, sitting at 677 metres above sea level. 19 degrees ambient temperature out there, 55% humidity, clear skies, so that sun baking down on the track will push the track temps up later in the race, and that will give everybody a big challenge as they work with their tyres, as the practice session has just closed out and we can flick over to the grid. I'm not sure that's the correct grid. If it is, Sean has royally messed something up. You know, that information is not correct because I can see on my live timing that Taylor Mitchell is lining up on pole, so we'll ignore that grid graphic that I brought up there, and we can see the lineup on the time tower on the left there. That is the correct order.
We've got a bunch of cars out there on track now. Shane, I might try again, see if it comes up correct.
Yes, there we go. So Taylor Mitchell on pole from Leo Duncan. Jason Cossey and Michael Gunstone in behind. Then Daniel Hedeside, Chris Supasich, Roger Forbert and Darren Lobb.
That's our first 8 there, and then following on from them in 9th position, we have Bruce Tannock over Dane Northdirth, Peter Vanderberg, Gerald Eccleston 11-12, Nick Accordia and Johnny Gibson 13-14.
Oh, sounds like we're going.
Jones rounds on to 15, Zach Christie 16, and we are away. Short run of the lights. Quick jump from the boys. Quick positions being made by Michael Gunstone there. Daniel Hedeside as well. Roger Corbett up a few there before turn 1. Taylor Mitchell still leads over Leo Duncan. He's getting around turn 1 nice and cleanly, and a few cars joining us from pit lane. Look how epic that is. V8s. All of them.
40 V8 supercars joining us tonight. Massive pit, and still looking at a bit of 2 and 3 wide in the mid and rear pack as they make their way through turn 3. Taylor Mitchell continuing to lead into turn 4. A couple of passion cars going at it in the mid pack there. And still side by side, I think that is Chris Upsich and Dane Loader that are battling it out there. Dane making his way into the top 10, battling with Chris Upsich, who made the top 10 shootout last night.
Yeah, Dane starting in 10th, still in 10th moment, battling with Chris Upsich, who's down 3 from where he started. A bit of bullying happening there at the start for him, but biggest loser off the start so far, Jason Cossey down 5 spots there into position 8.
Yeah, we go. I'm here. Look at this. This is great, and everything seems to be going all right. Just look up and see a massive green cars there from the Misfits.
Bill Kilger running into early pit lane.
Yes, so Bill touring the lane early on there, not sure why that is. Looks like not stopping, so I wonder if he picked up a jump start there.
I'd say that would probably be very much the case there.
We've had a change for the lead. Leo Duncan has taken over the lead from Taylor Mitchell.
Yeah, Taylor Mitchell on a slowdown. And Jason Cossey's got a black flag as well.
How interesting. So a couple of minutes into the race, and we've got some early drama already. You see there, Taylor bleeding out his speed.
Taylor going deep into turn 3 there, and that opened the door for Leo Duncan to walk through, and obviously seeing that slowdown that he's picked up on rejoining has dropped him back a couple more spots, and he now sits in P4 after starting off the pole.
It does, yeah. So behind Leo Duncan, Michael Gunstone and Daniel Heddershide, then Taylor Mitchell. Behind Taylor we have Darren Lobb, the monster DC liveried Mustang there, and flashing his attendance to Taylor just ahead of him, and another fast driver. We've seen them paired up before. Bruce Danek sitting just behind Darren Lobb there.
Yeah, so Darren had the mistake in the shootout last night, picked up the off track and didn't set a time down. That dropped him to 10th on the official grid, but I think with a couple of people not making it tonight, he jumped up to P8 as a result of that, and that has him now, well, since then he's moved up another 4 spots to P4, so making quick work of the recovery after last night's costly mistake in qualifying.
Yeah, we did witness some of the pressure of the top 10 shootout last night, didn't we? And it was an absolute fantastic job by everybody to get it done too.
Yeah, it really was. As Dylan Radford just recovered from a little bit of an off track there and having a bit of a blink. Saw his name dropping down the order and just managed to catch him coming back onto the track there, so he's had a little bit of a drama. John Lee has had a little bit of a drama as well, coming unstuck on lap 3.
Yeah, this one here, so we've got Simplex coming, one actually gets a tap here from Leon Ware, and then a weak corrective tap on the front, so hopefully it didn't make up any damage, and Leon was very quick to apologise on the radio there, so we'll see if he manages to pick up a bit of a redress from that one, or if John won. I didn't hear John coming through any call for race control over that.
Yeah, nothing through at all on race control yet, Dougie. So that is that's a good thing. Everybody's still out there racing. It is a long race, so that not one on the first lap thing, it's absolutely happening right now, isn't it?
Very much so.
Yeah, been very clean so far. Not a lot of red showing up in the replay data. Doesn't look like Leon's trying to take a leaf out of Cam Wooders' book and block the cars between himself and the guy that he wants to redress with.
Might not have the pace for it at the moment, Leon.
Jason Cossey and Trent Bennett having a battle just in front of Leon. Jason down 20 spots from his starting position. We saw him in the top 10 shootout last night, so I wonder if he was one of those cars that we saw coming out of pit lane. Maybe as much as the short gridding period nearly caught us out as we were rolling through the grid, it might have caught Jason out as well, and he just missed that grid and had to start from pit lane maybe.
40 cars started the race. All 40 cars are still going. Biggest mover though. I got Dion de Graaf up 18.
Up 19 now, he's just put a move on Matt Priest.
Yeah, Leon Ware up 15.
So we can see how Dion got that one done. Pretty simple, getting the good exit, draft, and then pulling out and getting alongside, and Matt certainly didn't fight that one too hard. Nico Cordier and Zach Christie going side by side into turn 4 there, and they're going to stay side by side on the way out.
Yeah, Nico defending the spot he started in 13th. Huge, so keeping it going. He's got a bit of a pack of cars building up there behind.
So, interestingly enough, I can see Jason Cossey there. On lap 3 he had some crash data, Shano, and then not long after that he's entered pit lane. It looks like he's just transitioned through, had not long after leaving pit lane. It's a total of 28 seconds.
Unfortunately, I don't seem to have that crash data on lap 3. Only crash data I'm seeing on lap 3 there is John O'Lee.
Okay, yeah, interesting. I've got not long after some passes between when he was battling with Daniel Heddershide there towards the end of the past him.
It's just a long race, and if you're watching, and you want to get in with a chance to win yourself at Supercars NZ Singlet, just got a comment on the Broadcasting Lounge YouTube, a number between 1 and 50. You get a chance to win. Darren Lobb managed to get the consolation prize last night, Shano, and he was pretty happy with that, not making a lap in the top 10 shootout, but was the lucky number at the end.
Yep, we spun up the random wheel, number 10 came out, and that was down because he had that off track and that dropped him to 10th in that.
We've got a few people that have got their number picks in tonight, which is good to see. So yeah, make sure you go and add on a few extras for us so we can come up with a winner.
Steve Darren going side by side with Trent Bennett there, and it's not often we see a Misfits car outnumbered, but there's 2 Jigsaw cars ganging up on 1 Misfit car at the moment.
Very right there. It's great, not often seen that way round. Interesting to see how the next few laps play out with these two going at it.
Plenty of battles throughout the pack as well, as you would expect with such a big field. D on the graph putting a move on Phil Carpenter, moving up into P18 now, up 21 spots from the starting position. So I think he missed qualifying last night.
He did.
And yeah, so he's coming through from the back and really putting it in the hard yards and working his way up. It'll be interesting to see how far he can get with still over an hour and a half remaining.
So obviously, Dion, people will be wondering, what chance does he have at tonight's racing? So I suppose, what type of strategies have the drivers got to work with tonight, and what kind of race restrictions there, Shane?
That's a very good question.
Nothing looking good on the
I
spot.
wonder if Corey has some information for us.
Yeah, what was the question?
Just what tonight's layout of racing may involve, and
Yeah,
Nicholson has had a crash.
Jonesy in the wall.
Yeah, and he looks like he might be stuck there. Has he requested a tow?
He has, yep. And I believe Sean said copy, but no further advancement there yet.
We're looking out. I think if Nick doesn't make it, and I see he did drop out of the server and come back in. And yeah, it looks like Nick Mitchell is in the safety car. Safety car boards and flags. There we go. Oh, look at that.
As we see there from the super talented Nick Mitchell, owner of MRX doing a fantastic burnout, entering onto the track. We've got a cool wee safety car video to add to the edition moving forward. He went in and had a wee bit of fun.
Some of the cars have gone down the way.
Session.
Yeah, interesting spot of strategies here. So Leo Duncan, Daniel Hedderside, Darren Lobb, Bruce Tannock, Dane Noda, Deon DeGraff, Jason Costley all diving for the lane. Taylor Mitchell stayed out and moves back into the lead, as has everybody apart from those names I rattled off, although Nathan Cadman, John Lee, Chris Zaluski now also coming into the lane. And looks like the rest of the field, actually Jared Eccleston, Jared's just towed, he was the reason for the safety car unfortunately, but yes, so looks like Chris Zaluski is the last guy that did pit, although Bill Kilgour and Alan Scott still just coming around. Bill has stayed out.
There was an interesting request from Chris there once the safety car announcement had been made, asking if they were able to pit under safety cars. So I'm just wondering again if the boys got any compulsory pit stops for tonight. What's their fuel restrictions and bits and pieces? Just wondering what strategies the drivers have on hand.
I don't believe there's any compulsory pit stops. I also think they've got all the fuel available, but that won't get them through the race. So they're going to need, I think probably one pit stop will get them there for fuel. Might require two, I'm not 100% sure.
80 litres is what they've got for fuel, I think.
80 litres, okay, so that is a restriction. So probably looking at 2 stops there then, required for fuel. But tyres will be another question as well.
I was wondering if that would be enough to cover off, if the drivers would be willing to gamble on just 2 stops.
And not a very long pit lane either, so there is the potential there that if you do want to make an extra stop for some fresh tyres, it could pay off later on in the race. But this is the reason for the safety car. This is what happened to Jared Eccleston. In behind a fashion car, gets up onto the curb, actually blew his engine. I did think I heard the sound of an engine blowing on the trackside cameras at one point there, and that explains that and what happened to Jared. So he's had to tow to the pits under safety car. Looks like he's dropped off the lead lap as well, unfortunately, while he's still currently towing. So that will hurt him big time, and he's going to have to find a way to get back onto the lead lap. Could get a safety car later that'll help him do that. We'll have to wait and see. Nico Cordia's just come into the pits and jumped everybody on his way in, but he will obviously now sit at the pit lane speed limit and have to stop at his box, and that will drop him behind. But is he taking a full service, or is he just getting a splash and dash here? Looks like he's taking a full service.
Yeah, so we're up to 12 seconds there now. 14's gone by. 16, 17, 18. That is a long time there for him. 22, 24. Wonder if he got caught out. Up to 30 seconds now on his pit stop. 31.55 for Nico Cordia's pit stop, and looks like he's making his way out of pit lane now, and we'll see where he falls into the grid order. So So Jared just asking the question there of our safety car, whether they'd be able to get their laps back under safety car, and race control reminded him that because he was the reason for it, that he wouldn't be able to use it this time round.
Yep, that's fair call.
So for Jared now, he'll be hoping that there's another another safety car intervention at some point during the race, so he can get his wave bys.
Yeah, and still plenty of opportunity for that to happen as well. Just over a quarter of an hour in, just under an hour and a half remaining as Nick Mitchell has pulled away from the pack. So he will be returning to pit lane and Taylor Mitchell has control now. Same last name, and yes, they are related if you didn't know. Nick is Taylor's old man.
And Nick now entering the pit lane there in the NASCAR Camaro, which is our pick for the safety car for the MRX Enduro season. Obviously, one race per season moving forward. This is round 1, and Taylor has gapped it there. He's jumped on the queue early, and he's away. I wonder what that's going to do for the rest of the field. Probably caught quite a few people out, I'd say.
Yeah, certainly put a gap on Michael Gunstone by going early there. Roger Forbert staying in touch with Michael there. Leo Duncan and Leon Ware going side by side.
And just hearing the boys talking to each other on the restart there, saying they're going to give each other some room so everyone gets out of this restart away cleanly. As we have seen it in the past, safety cars breeding safety cars, as they do have a tendency to do that in real life as well. This very much happens here in the sim world.
Oh, Ross Watson with the big lock up. He was sitting in behind Grant Bristol and Tom McCall as they were going at it. Grant and Ross have both gone in deep, and Dane Nodov's been able to pounce on that, after coming into the pits with some fresh rubber on the safety car, and he moves back up to P26 now. So that creates an interesting split of strategies with those few cars that did come in under yellow and the majority of the field staying out. It'll be interesting to see how those guys that did pit end up tracking later on in the race. Obviously they're buried in traffic at the moment, which won't help them, but they do have that fresh rubber on and already getting one stop out of the way. The question is that going to mean an extra stop for them later on, or are they still able to get to the end on one more stop or 2 more stops if that was what the plan was? We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, that's certainly exciting, and you've got to make those gambles sometimes. Unless you've been out there and actually fully replicated what you think is going to happen. Oh. So, crikey. There's Michael Jones and Blake Brenhall there, doing some randy rounds.
Yes, I picked up Michael dropping down the field and then just saw Blake in the green, Blake in the background, Blake in the green hill.
Blake in the green hole doing the background.
It's, see what happened to Blake there. It's actually his data that came up first. So he's just
lost the rear end.
Oh, getting caught up with another car there. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, that was Michael Jones.
Was it? Ah, quite right, it was too.
He's inverted because he's normally got a white car and got inverted tonight.
He has. Got some green lenses going on as well. Quite kind of vicious.
A little bit Cam Waters-ish, maybe inspired.
Yeah. It's just unfortunate it was actually the other Mustang doing sideways things. Jonesy's into the pit lane, Blake's back on the push, there's wide there, that's allowed the Diesel D Services cars to coast on by.
It's hard to know where to look, so many battles going on. Steve Darren going side by side with Daniel Heddershide.
Yep, there was also a very close side by side battle, Phil Carpenter and Trent Bennett there for positions 9 and 10. So much to look at, so much that we can recount later on. The joy of the replay world. One other man who we'll be keeping an eye on, we were talking about him before, Dion DeGraaf, back in 26 positions, just made another move, another position over Ross Watson there. And I love seeing the debris scatters, the old stone chips getting flung all over the place. The guys have been running wide into the sand and bringing on the debris back onto the track.
Debris.
Bringing another real world element to the racing or England. Make your racing lines well and your braking points even better.
Blake Greenhill putting a move on Grant Bristow as he recovers from that spin back at turn 1.
Yeah, Blake sitting there in 29th spot, one of the drivers who chose not to come into the pits, and with that wee whoopsie there before, he's currently down 11 spots. Thomas McCole having a bit of a drama, and looks like Dion DeGraaf possibly calling something in over that one.
That corner, Pano, the slow down corner, has been catching a few people out. I've been keeping an eye on the black flag symbols coming up for me, and one or two people a lap are actually getting hit by that one.
But I haven't quite seen that one, Corey. So is that cutting in too early, or is it running wide over the ripple strip that's catching people out?
Not too sure exactly where.
So this is what happened to Tom McCall. He's got loose, had the big fishtail out of turn 1.
What?
And I think what Dion is protesting there is the reaction from the car ahead of him. But, I mean, he's trying not to crash into the car in front. I don't know what else you're supposed to do in that situation.
Yeah, it's a bit of an interesting one. It could be that another angle might need to be looked at there, Shane. I believe the driver, he was reacting. That was the reactor, was Nico Cordia. And as you said, where do you go? There's a car parked halfway across the track.
Chopper bringing us the pictures from up above here.
Yeah, there was not much more that I believe Nico could have done there.
There's the answer, Dougie.
And just as we review it for you at home, race control in our ears notifying car 20, no further action, and race on.
And that seems like the right call to me, so very happy there.
Yeah, we'll get on board that, I reckon.
Yeah, I'll third that one too.
Don't forget, folks, your number in the comments, number between 1 and 50, you're going to the draw for a chance to win yourself a Supercars NZ singlet. And they come in black and white, from extra small through to 4XL. So
yeah,
good range for the old Kiwi bloke with the cuckoo too.
We've got our traditional black on white, and the white pick features the blue New Zealand writing on it, I believe.
Yeah, still waiting for my sample to be sent to me. Where's the merch, guys? Where's the merch? Well, you can find it. You go to the Supercars NZ community page, and there is a post in there that takes you to where you can buy some of the Supercars NZ merch.
Very good. Great pick of the shot there as well, Shano. Great transition. Was just about to say Dane Northdirth there, banging on the door of Steve Darren. Dane currently down 10 spots, sitting in position 20, but has come through and had one of his pit stops. And he was very much closing in under draft. So we'll see what he can do. Obviously, Steve got race-worn tyres from the start of the race, and very likely that Dane has taken a couple of tyres with some fuel. So you're putting on some good pressure there, good pressure. Here we're looking off the back of Steve's car as it gets a full amount of PRC front grille, very close to that one. And,
PSR.
PSR? That's what I said, didn't I? Or did I say PRS?
You said PRC, I don't know what that means.
Ah. Well, I meant PSR, so we'll go with that.
Oh!
Oh
Dane
no!
got the move done, but just dropped it off the final corner. Just kept it running.
Oh,
Tried to run over the marshal in the meantime. Gets it back down to there.
Having a bar of it. Give yourself a bit more room and you can flick it round there, mate.
He's
That's a
found a
hard
gap
one,
to get going, but that's dropped him just about all the way to the back of the pack. And big damage as well, pulling that car across to the right, so he's going to have to probably come in for another pit stop. He came in under safety car, but I think he may well need a fast repair now after that one.
Have a hunt back and look at it. I don't believe there was any contact with him and Steve coming into turn one, but it might be good just to remove that essence of doubt and see if it was Dane just smoking it up.
Equal flag too, Dano, so he's going to have to come down the lane and get that
Man,
fast.
that's an unfortunate one. Lucky that no one hit him. And as I was just talking a little bit over top of Corey there, sorry mate, yeah indeed he's got a meatball flag, so that will certainly warrant him the need to come and get that rectified. So some damage on that car. Unlucky stations.
Bruce Turner.
Boosted subscriber too. I just suddenly caught my eye on the stream and your thing there. ECD or SOD Prospect subscribed 19 minutes ago. So yeah, thanks for that. Thanks for the sub. And if you are watching and you haven't subbed, make sure you give us a sub.
Absolutely. Bruce Turner sitting in P15 just ahead of Daniel Heddershide at the moment.
Yeah, Daniel done some good bit of racing there in the minute, and hopefully he can stay in touch with Bruce as he will probably move a little bit further forward up the list. Currently down 6 spots, our Bruce into position at 15, having also chosen to stop during the recent safety car stoppage there. Yeah, just having a look down that screen cap there, Corey. It's nice to see the people have put some numbers in there. We've got an awesome comment there from Dick Dandy Racing saying that they love the safety car video. So hopefully we might be able to see that one again for proper reasons rather than me just spamming it like I've done in the past. I don't think that's Shane's cup of tea, to be fair. Confuses the streamer apparently.
I can imagine it would.
Scott Pickering not racing tonight. Viewing from here once again. A lot of GMs blowing up lately, and yes, indeed, the boys driving the GMs have been having a bit of trouble with their motors.
Darren Lobbs just moved up into P7, overtaking Dan Nolan there. Leon Ware has gone wide at turn 3 and joins back into a 3 wide moment.
Yeah, so Leon right in the middle there of Evan Young, Daniel Heddershide and Matt Gerard. And just on the front of him there, Bruce Tennant.
And I believe, based on what we saw from Taylor Mitchell on lap 1, that might also result in a slowdown for Leon there.
interesting. And Darren Lobb just reminding someone to race smart, not hard. It looks like he might be in a close battle with Zach Christie.
Bennett, P9 up 25. Leon Ware, P15 up 25. Thomas McCall up 21. Nathan Cadman up 21. 20. 20, yeah, 21.
Yeah,
Oh, it's changed
21th. Nice big battle here taking place between Darren and Zach, and then just ahead Chris Upsich.
Oh, sorry, I've gone to the replay as the move was going on there.
You're all good there, Wayne. That's not a problem, mate.
I was looking at the data, found what I was looking for, and then looked at
You
the
were just,
screen as I clicked on it, and it was too late. But this is actually this is the end of what we picked up with Leon. I was hoping that was going to tell us how we ended up out wide, so I didn't even get what I wanted in the end. And to make up for that, I better find Darren Lobb passing Zach Christie and see if we can show that again.
Recent words. Darren Lobb making a nice wee move down the inside of Zach Christie as he is horsed over across into the marbly side of the track. Very clean and tidy move once again by Darren, who now has Chris Upsich ahead of him. Zach with a nice wee draft following Darren though, so certainly not out of the battle just yet.
Alright, I'm gonna stick with the live pictures a little bit longer this time, but I don't think we're gonna see a move into turn 4 this time around.
No.
And not too many passing opportunities from here to the end of the lap now, so I am going to have another go at this. This is Leon Ware into turn 3, deep under brakes, runs wide, and then all the action unfolding behind him as I think Bruce made up 3 spots in one corner there.
He did, yep. He was well poised for looking like he was going to be making a move potentially on Leon there anyway, or at least getting very close for the next couple of corners. But the seas parted and the other boys followed him a little bit, and Bruce managed to go on by.
Nico Cordia and Heath Mahone having a bit of a battle. Nico's been able to get a little bit of an overlap into turn 8 there, and he's been able to muscle his way onto the inside line for turn 9. Gets ahead, but Heath able to get the better line on the run through there, but Nico able to cover him off into the apex of the final corner at turn 10.
Watch here though, Heath, if he's able to stay glued enough to the rear bumper, good drafting zone there to close in on, get a nice clean shot out of here, and then it's an even longer run down to turn 3. See Nico moving across trying to break that draft relatively early, but it's not to be. Nico's got his setup dialed in pretty well. There's some battles, there's just battles everywhere. So ahead of Nico, there's some racy stuff happening between Scott McKenzie and Blake Greenhall. As they play with one Dylan Radford.
Yeah, Dylan up 11 spots to sit in P21 currently, doing a good job. But Scott looking to see if he can take one of those spots off him, and Blake Greenhill not too far behind either on the recovery after that little moment we saw him have not too long after the safety car
Indeed.
Zach Christie, no, yes, Zach Christie taking the option to get into pit lane now and get his first pit stop out of the way. I was just thinking, looking at the time, that those guys that didn't pit under the safety car, I was thinking they'll probably be due in for their first stop before too long, probably getting down towards the lower end of that fuel load.
Yeah, and Matt Gerard also reacting as well. We see him trying to find his pit box. The boys are running out there probably to stop him early. But yeah, a few cars will be reacting and coming in to do that as we see Zach finishing up with his pit stop at 29.8 a second.
Scott McKenzie's been able to get around Dylan Radford and Blake Greenhall into the back of him. That caused a little bit of a traffic jam in behind, and Nico Cordia takes advantage, splits the difference, and comes now in between Blake and Dylan, and thinking about a move down the inside into 4. Not quite able to fire it down there, but steadily picking up at least one spot there anyway.
Yeah, Dylan covering that off a wee bit, and Blake's still hungry as ever, not wanting to give up his position just yet. Looks like Nico just turned onto him a little bit there, upset the driver of the car, and Blake's been able to go on by, and it's also allowed Heath Mahone to get back up alongside Nico there again for a brief moment.
Yeah, there was a little bit of rub on the way into turn 6 there, and contact between Blake Greenhall and Dylan Radford. It's forced Dylan wide and drops him a couple of spots.
Yeah, Dylan falling back 3 positions there, down to 23rd now, still up 9 from where he had started. So still a number of people showing in the greens, moving their way up. Out at the front though, Taylor Mitchell, he's putting a commanding lead on the race at this stage, qualifying P1 out of the top 10 shootout last night, and he leads Michael Gunstone just over 6 seconds.
Yeah, Taylor doing a great job so far tonight, just as he did a great job last night as well, and carrying on with it, putting in the laps, extending that lead, and yes, hitting at 6 seconds as he may be thinking about coming to the pits for the first time soon. We'll keep an eye on that one for you.
Yeah, I'd say he must be very close, but still consistently ticking away those laps, so that's good to see. Daniel Hedderscheid here wanting to poke the bear of Bruce Tannock, sitting there in position 13 and 12. And those two both have already had their pit stop, so they're very much racing on at the moment for an active position. Daniel reminding Bruce that he is still there, still ready to play.
Yeah, that's right, and we're used to seeing Bruce running near the front of the field, and seems weird to see him taking pressure from another driver sitting down in P12, but Daniel Hedderscheid we saw in the top 10 last night. Bruce was just bumped out of the top 10 right at the end. I think he ended up qualifying 11th, but might have jumped a couple of spots with a couple of guys not making it. Simon Hedderscheid being one of those actually, that was in the 10 that hasn't made it tonight.
It's just amazing to see after 25 laps and 41 minutes of racing. There's still very much a lot of boys out there close to one another.
Well, there's that many cars on the track, and as we talked about with Nick at the end of the stream last night, it's not a massive track, so to get all those numbers on there, you're going to end up with cars close together throughout the whole race. And we're actually seeing everybody doing a pretty good job of managing their space appropriately, giving each other room where they need to, and haven't seen people coming together in a big way as yet. Of course, things could start to heat up towards the end of the race. The gloves can come off as we wind down towards that 1 hour 45-minute mark, and we could see it all unfold late in the race. So watch this space, but for now, all looking pretty good.
Everybody's still got 1 hour left, or just over an hour left to get your numbers in the comments. Number between 1 and 50 for your sub a Supercars NZ singlet. And if I was going to put a number in, I'd put a number 6. But yours?
I think number 6 was already picked, just a wee bit further up on that screen chat, but unfortunately that's not my toggle bar, so shame I won't be able to scroll that one up for a second.
Dion
Oh,
DeGraff
can be
did
taken.
pick
No, it
number
doesn't
6.
count. He did it from Facebook. I can see it right there. So
Oh yeah.
unlucky use.
There we go. So it's got to be on the YouTube page. I mean that's a good effort from Dion though, whilst in the race car, to be hitting up the old facey box.
Yeah, I did jump in the driver chat in our Discord earlier, and I told them that, you know, you've got plenty of time once the stream starts before the race starts to get your number in, and unfortunately he just went straight through Facebook. So yeah, nobody else has managed to do it off the grid. Oh, Peter Vanderberg, so I see his name in there.
You might have, I see his wife has made a pick on there as well, so it's good to see. I'm going to say, Shane, when you get a moment, it might be worthwhile have a wee look back at some data on Alan Scott, because he just quickly shouted out on the radio for some drivers to stay left, so I wonder if he might have had a wee whoopsie.
I have got some crash data for Alan, although back on lap 13. What you heard could have just been letting some traffic pass as they were lapping him, but we can certainly go back and have a look at that lap 13 crash data for Alan.
So there with Chris Zalewski in the inside, just turning over the nose there, coming unstuck. So
I think he may have got a little bit of rear locking on the curb there, and it just took him into Chris's path there, unfortunately.
yeah, very unfortunate. No, Matt Priest there, position 18, up 5, hasn't stopped just yet, so charging on. Supercar entry tomorrow.
Yeah, Super Chief Auto livery modelled off Greg Murphy's Super Chief Auto livery from 2005. Oh, calling the tyres of the grass there.
and maybe very much so. See some very tight data, positions 7, 8, 9 and 10.
Very tight through here, so Trent Bennett and Chris Zapasich going side by side, and then Dan Nolan, Leo Duncan and Jono Gibson in behind, and Phil Carpenter involved in that as well. Very busy piece of track at the tail end of the top 10. Chris Zapasich, as it all settles down into single file now, was looking to put a move on Leo Duncan, but Leo's just been able to pull away a little bit, and now Leo is putting the pressure on Dan Nolan.
Yeah,
Pulls out of the draft.
Just about to say, Dan doing very, very well this season, and also tonight, just currently sitting in position 7, up 14 spots, but was one of the drivers that chose not to take the early spot under safety car.
Looks like the top 4 cars haven't stopped. So Darren Lobb's the first of our cars that had made that dive in with that safety car, and he looks to be only 13.5 seconds behind Taylor Mitchell.
Correct, yeah.
So it's going to come close after the last lot of pit stops. Like we said, we're going to have to stop maybe twice. You reckon? That was what we come up with, wasn't it? I was listening earlier. I think that's what I heard anyway.
I would think probably twice, but it is really just an educated guess. Like I haven't got any data to put towards that, so we'll really just have to wait and see.
Yeah, so there's a bit of a stagger in it. So that 13 seconds that Lobby's behind now, you're going to notice the difference in how efficient they are at the pit stop. So I reckon this is going to be pretty close at the end, or it's going to be one of them with a substantial lead.
And Shane, I would like you to have a squiz back, please, at your data of John Lee crashing, because he's just towed to pits and then hastily remembered that he needed to request that, so was apologising profusely to race control over that.
Okay, so we've got, and teammate on teammate as well. Yeah, I think just a little bit of embarrassment there, and also remembering that Jono is a Div 2 driver. They don't regularly have the tow rule in place in Div 2 because there's no live race control to manage that, so it's not something that John's used to down there in Div 2, and that's probably contributed as well. So understandable, easy mistake to make, and I'm sure we can all move on.
That's hearing Taylor Mitchell must be negotiating his way through some traffic, as well as some of the drivers do spread out a little bit from the ones that have had some issues earlier on. 8.8 seconds clear of second place now, and very much must be getting close to watching him come through to take a pit stop as we jump back to P10. Bruce Tannock.
Yeah, Alan just calling out on the radio there, telling them all to go right. They did quite well. All three of them got past that back marker with absolutely no open fares.
Well, it is nice to see the lads adding that level of communication to help out each other. They're not wanting to obviously get in the way of people's battles, and they're out there still racing on, having fun, which is a big thing of what we are here at Supercars NZ.
Good battle.
A bit spicy here now.
Yeah, good battle going on for the final step on the podium as Peter Vandenberg gets the run on Roger Forbett. They're going to go side by side towards turn 4, are they? Peter pulling ahead at the moment.
It's quite funny to see Peter Vandenberg running that same monster.
Apologies.
Oh, sorry. Oh,
that was Darren Lobb and Peter Vandenberg. Yep.
I was going to say, he's running the same livery of Darren Lobb.
It was Darren Lobb, that's why. Oh, that was
Called us both, Paul. We'll shut up now, folks. Over to you, Corey.
Oh, the lights are on, but nobody's home here.
And Peter...
Comment about us or you?
No, I've got the stream going in two places, and I had the sound on. Plus, I could hear you guys talking. I'd have to say I was overstimulated then, I think.
So Peter does now take the opportunity to get into pit lane. Can confirm this one is Peter Vandenberg in the Misfits car. And it's funny because I was looking at that thinking, I'm sure Peter Vandenberg's back in Misfits.
I was just about to say, I'm like, oh, it's interesting to see him in a monster car while he's racing the Team Misfits, while he's battling another Team Misfits racing cars. We'll delete this lap from our memory bank, so I think you should go and move on to something else. It's Chris Opposite getting losing a spot there to Bruce Tannock. Side by side drag racing now out of turn 2 down to turn 3 and 4.
Actually, this is turn 4 and 5, and it was out of turn 3. The left-hander up the hill counts as a turn.
Ah, very good. Thank you, Rebel Racing. Racetrack. Bull Ring.
Red Bull Ring.
It is a neat track, really. It was one that took me quite a long time to come to terms with actually how to get around the track. I still can't get around it quickly. So watching these boys do it is quite extraordinary. I wonder if you might be able to jump on someone who's close to coming across the line there, Shane, and give us a bit of a lap rundown, mate. You haven't done one of those for a while, and put you on the spot to try and do one now.
You know, earlier in the other chat, I said to Dan Nolan, "We're going to drag you up for a hot lap," and then I disappeared straight away out of the chat. So I left him hanging. That would be a cruel joke. He's doing so well, so we don't want to put any more pressure on him, I don't think.
There we go. But
Certainly
on board
Weir.
with his teammate.
Yep, Leon Weir making his way up the hill into turn 2 here, the left-hander, and then on the brakes for turn 3. Down through the gears, bit of rear lock-in as he hit second gear. You saw him having to put a bit of correction into the steering wheel and more correction on the way out as he fights to get that throttle down. And then pulling gears on the run in towards turn 4. On the brakes again, back down the gears, back to second gear again a little bit of rear lock-in as he fights to get it turned in. Gets it through 4 and sweeping into 5, fighting to get that power down rest, stepping out all the way through 5, down to third gear for the left-hander at turn 6. Patient on the throttle, getting out onto the curb, grabbing fourth gear momentarily before dropping back to third for turn 7. Managed the throttle input through turn 8 over the curb, and then over the crest and drop down into turn 9. Very easy to pick up an off track on the outside here, although I think they have relaxed the track limits there a little bit in recent times. And then flicking it through turn 10, the final corner, stepping out on the exit curve there and bringing it across the line to complete a lap of the Red Bull.
Very cool. I wouldn't mind if you go back to inside the cockpit there again for a minute there, Shane. Just want to point out, obviously with the complexities of the track, of just how hard some of those corners are, pointing out the gradient of the track. So like coming up to this corner here, it's actually an uphill braking zone, and then it's still a bit of an up with a quick dip as they're trying to get on the gas. You can see the cars getting unsettled, and then very much the difference. You come down into this corner here, and it's a downhill braking zone. So all those not traditional braking markers on the side, if you've sort of got it locked in your head to brake at the 150 mark, they could be very, very wildly different corner per corner.
Yeah, absolutely. The gradient of the track definitely having a big effect on where you get on the brakes. You can go quite deep uphill into turn 3, but then as you say down into turn 4, dropping down the hill, have to get on the brakes quite early there.
Correct, yeah, and you come out of this fast section, that's right.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Just watching a replay here. Alan Scott, D1NZ, through that means turn 2, is it?
Turn 3.
Oh. Turn 3, and he wasn't quite finished with it yet. He was trying to pick up a couple of extra points. Leon coming in under this lap, so there we go. Just before the hour mark, 56 minutes of racing, 35 laps in, and this is Leon's first stop. So we'll see he's in there for a good plus 35 seconds, I imagine. Scott McKenzie also joining him this time round.
So looking at how far some of these guys have managed to go into the race, and we've got Taylor Mitchell, Michael Gunstone and Roger Forberg top 3, all still yet to pit as well. Nearly an hour in, so we're past halfway. and still going. So that would tell me that a one stop, as far as fuel is concerned, very much doable, as Michael Gunstone and Roger Forbert are now making their way into the lanes. So we must be getting down towards the bottom end of that fuel load now, and oh, Roger
That will be
Forbert
interesting.
into the back of Michael Gunstone. Are either of them going to pick up a penalty? If Michael picks up the penalty and Roger gets away with it, he is going to be fuming. We'll watch them.
You can only hope that he was quite below the entry speed on that one. So with that wee tap, because a small tap from behind someone who's doing another 10-15k can certainly pass that speed on to you. So 10 or 15k over coming across the line could be picked up.
So the issue here too is I'm not actually sure what we're expecting for a normal pit stop time here, but Michael's certainly getting away now behind Roger, but I don't think so. He was stopped there for 46 seconds overall, and would certainly expect that he needed more than 6 seconds of fuel at that point. So I think everybody got away with it okay, and we move on.
The Taylor Mitchell one was 37th lap now on this tank of fuel.
Yeah, it's 36 laps.
36 point. So he's on his 37th.
Yep.
So he's got to come down the lane soon, because it's fairly good usage of the fuel. I guess it's not a very short, it's a short track.
I mean, you've got to commend him. He's obviously gone out there with a completely fuel-laden car as well to be able to run this long, and he's done probably some great work of saving gas in behind the safety car too. But I imagine it must be getting pretty darn low in there now, and he's just being pretty cautious about the bunch of cars there in front of him. He's not putting a great deal of pressure onto them, so maybe his decision to come in and pit this lap has already been decided.
And we're seeing Taylor currently just under 14 seconds ahead of Darren Lobb at the moment. Once Taylor does pit, that's going to allow Darren to jump back ahead, but we're pretty sure Darren is still going to have to make another stop at some point as Taylor goes around for another lap, where once Taylor makes that stop, the numbers would suggest that he's gone well over halfway into this race already. He should be able to make it to the end from here pretty comfortably.
Well, it's interesting to see, Shane. So those guys that came in and took that first pit stop, the majority of them were sort of around that 14-15 seconds on what they'd done. The remainder who have come in later and taken a full stop have been somewhere around that 43 to 45 second mark for what they've needed. So subtracting that time away from Darren Lobb's original stop and that 13-second gap back from Taylor to him currently, you would imagine that Darren still needs to come in and do a 25 to 30 seconds worth of pit stop to get enough fuel to carry through to the end.
Yeah, and then add on to that the time it's going to take to get through the lane as well. Of course, where it could pay off is if we get a safety car, it's still going to lose that time, but then it's all going to bunch up. So if we get another safety car late in the race, and maybe that's what Taylor's banking on by pushing this as long as he can go as well. He's hoping to get that safety car pit under yellow as he comes in now, so he's not going to get that opportunity. But if Darren's able to pit under yellow before he runs out of fuel, then he'll still lose that time. He might lose a little bit less time if guys are just switching off a little bit once the yellow comes out. There's no requirement to go down to an 80 km speed limit or back off the pace in any way once the yellow comes out, but it does happen where the yellow comes out, you've made your pit stop, you switch off a little bit, you start trying to save some fuel and you go a little bit slower. So in that sense Darren could lose a little bit less time, but then wherever he comes out he will close right up behind the car in front once they pack up behind the safety car, so that's where there will be an advantage if he's able to pit under yellow.
Yeah, it's still a lot of dynamic remaining here with the nearly 41 minutes of racing remaining. We had a wee call there from race control before. There was a couple of cars that had come together, I believe, and Ross Watson, car 25, has picked up a 5-second time penalty to be conducted either during his next pit stop or will be at the end of the race. So yeah, didn't hear who it was that he had come together with, but it was obviously enough just to be given an additional slap on the wrist.
Taylor Mitchell making his way through some lap traffic there, I believe, after coming out of the pits. Roger Forbert in a battle with Zach Christie here.
So I believe Taylor was actually just in behind Jason Cossey there. So those two battling for positions 4 and 5. Jason being one of the few cars that hadn't stopped during the safety car.
Yes, I was just going to allude to that Taylor has dropped back to P5, but the 4 cars ahead of him are those guys that stayed out, that pitted under yellow. So we would expect those 4 guys to still need to come in and get some fuel.
Yeah, and then interestingly, you may have just mentioned it, but Nico Cordia, 11 seconds back from Taylor there, is the next driver who had been in for quite a substantial pit stop of 31 seconds. Now, I believe he was one that when we were looking at, he came in the second run after the other guys had initially reacted to going into the pits in the safety car. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. He put it on lap 9, those other guys put it on lap 8, so we did go a lap further.
Yeah.
Sounded like you might have been going somewhere with that, but okay.
No, it was just just because he's running again, and that's just pointing out the different strategies that some drivers have tried to work with. Obviously, there was a small majority of cars that pitted initially, and they did 14-second pit stops. Nico's gone a lap later and gone for 30 seconds, and then the remainder of the field has only just been coming through about the last 10 minutes to serve their first stops. So Nico, the only one out there on a third variation of pit stop strategy.
Another thing to take into account too is incidents. So we've already got 2 drivers that are yet to serve the black flag for going over. 25 incident marks every time somebody goes off track. They get an incident point. 25 as a drive through is fairly close as well. So you're gonna have to keep it pretty clean for the last sort of 40 minutes of this race.
Give us some names on who's due to take a wee tour through the pit lane, you know?
Well, Leon Weir, he's pretty close. Yeah, there's a couple more in the 20s, but I only really feel okay saying Leon's name. Because I know he'll take it with a grain of salt, you know. He hasn't been around for a while anyway, so he's doing his absolute best. And up 25 spots is pretty good.
He had taken a bit of a hiatus from racing on the regular. that has come along to have a home with us tonight, and certainly doing a nice job from starting at a pit lane, missing qualifying last night, into P19 at 21 spots, and he's got a racy Matt Gerard just behind him, so he'll be having some fun out there. I know he's certainly not pushing for a win. He will pass when he can pass, and he's been giving up positions as well for guys that have been a bit more racy around him, so having a bit of fun. And there we go, just see Leon's car dancing and wriggling on top of those stones. Also, as he's just trying to pick up the gas after that long right-hander.
Yeah, of course, it being a endurance race, the marbles build up off the racing line. It's pretty hectic too, so you get off that racing line to make a pass, it's going to be starting to get dicey now, because it's as I say, with debris out there as well.
Very much so. And it'll be an interesting one to see, because that is the traditional normal racing line, is pushing out from that apex across to the exit out over the left-hand side. But I wonder if there might be any gains on holding a tighter line around to the inside right there, holding it longer rather than floating out where the other guys are doing so there onto where that stones are being dropped off.
Just picked up something interesting with Jason Cossey here. He was showing us in the pit lane, but still currently showing his last stop at lap 8. He was one of those that came in on the safety car. But the data shows him entering pit lane about 4 times. So I want to see what's happened here. We can see it on replay. Coming into turn 9. He has driven into the pits and then disappeared. And then reappeared.
Okay. So he's serving a drive-through.
Okay, that's why the data isn't showing a pit stop, because SDK now doesn't register a drive-through as a pit stop. It only registers as a pit stop if you actually stop in your box. So that clears that one up.
Zach Christie there coming in for his second stop, so that'll be an interesting one to see how long he stops for this time round to get through to the end. I would imagine not much longer than 35 seconds, so.
Gone over 35 now, 37. So he pulls out of there now, and worth making a note of the total pit lane time as well, because that will give us a little bit of a picture on what the time in pit lane is going to be. So 1 minute and 10 seconds he's been down there, so that's quite a significant loss. They don't quite lose that time because they are transiting the lane and coming out obviously further when they went in. But still looking at around maybe 50 seconds to a minute as the time that you're going to lose in the pit lane. That's significant because Darren Lobb is, well, 43 seconds ahead of Taylor Mitchell at the moment. That would tell us that we could expect Taylor to come out in the lead, which makes sense because he was ahead when he came into the pits, and obviously has had fresher rubber on since he pitted. A significant variation in pit laps there, so he would have been able to put down some faster lap times since then as well and close that gap up a little bit, which will increase his advantage at the end. But then Darren's going to be the one on fresh tyres and towards the end of the race, so it will be interesting to see how that pans out.
Darren Lobb using the old light system Morse code to say, "Can I come by, please?"
I think our translations are a little bit different. I didn't read it quite so polite, but anyway, it's the same basic message, isn't it?
Yeah. Move. least it was done at a nice part of the track where the driver was able to make a decisive decision to hop out of the way. It gets a bit hectic when you're trying to do that through corners and you're trying to work out, do I stay on the racing line, do I try and move over, are they going to try and move over and go around me?
Nico Cordia in for his second stop.
And here we go. So, oh, the overshoot.
Oh.
So, getting a wee bit distracted with trying to have a chat with another driver out there, and he overshot his box by a third there. So, Red or Gun certainly weren't going to be able to reach down and get that one. And the old man on the signboard at the front's now got a broken ankle.
Half a broken ankle.
Yeah. Probably sprained it, you know.
Okay.
How do you win one of these Supercars NZ segments?
It's quite a simple wee one for winning that one tonight. As we can see, Dion had corrected his earlier mistake. Oh no, sorry, it still hasn't. It's still a Facebook one there. So the people who are commenting the numbers, if you're catching us via New Zealand Sim Racing TV or Broadcasting Lounge on Facebook, need to jump over to the Broadcasting Lounge YouTube channel and comment it into the section there under the chat. One of the numbers between 1 and 50, including those numbers, is fine. And if you do that, you're one of the ones that does it via the Broadcasting Lounge chat channel, you will be in the draw to one of our very cool Supercars NZ segments.
I have to say though, pretty impressive that he's been able to comment anything while he's out on track racing. Maybe he got his wife to grab the phone, but Dion, tell your wife that it needs to be on YouTube.
Wrong. Done it wrong twice.
Alright, looks like we've seen the last of those guys that came in under yellow come in for their second stop now. Darren Lobb from the lead.
Right, jump on Taylor, mate. Give us the bit of chopper cam or something, or fire chase cam. I want to see how close these two are when the money drops. Darren Lobb there, sitting at 20 seconds past. Taylor coming through, second last corner now. On the gas, Darren still sitting there. Has dropped, is rolling out.
Oh, this could be quite tight.
Exiting. So, not too far away. Taylor slowing down for first corner. And here he is. Darren Lobb has managed to take that gap down to only just under 7 seconds, I believe.
Yeah, it's currently showing 2 seconds.
Read that incredibly wrong. Bad mathematics. So yes, just under 2 second gap back from Taylor to Darren. Sorry, Shane, and sorry to the folks out there.
No apologies necessary, Doug. And critically, lap 38 for Taylor Mitchell plays lap 46 for Darren Lobb. 8 laps difference in tyres, and at only 2 seconds, I would say Darren's in the box seat here, but it's one thing to catch him, it's another thing to pass him.
Yep, correct. And we're still not towards the end just yet. So Taylor just needs to keep breathing and realising he doesn't want to do too much to try and defend him too soon. As we're nearly an hour 19 minutes into this hour 45 race. Darren will be pushing quite hard. I imagine he'll want to get inside that draft zone so that he can start working on that. He may have short filled a little bit to be able to close that gap. Calls come through from race control from Nico Cordia, mate. Race control. Apparently he just had a serving at turn 2, so we'll have some data on that one. As we watch Taylor now coming up behind Heath Mahone, that traffic starting to play a bit more of a heavy toll. Taylor now with Blake Grenhall just ahead of him, but what he has done is made that gap come down to 3 of a second.
I want to see another angle of that.
Yeah. That's a hard one to pick, as we're probably both agreeing with our conjoined errors there for a second.
So he's gone for a move on Chris Uppersich. Momentarily
Chris has
gets the
given him
move done.
room.
And then I think it was Jason Cossey trying to go up the inside and just making contact off the back of that. Gonna play that through one more time.
Yeah, just interesting to see if Nico has drifted to the right there, or if potentially Jason has come across to the left.
It's a
That's
tricky
a
one.
hard one.
I certainly wouldn't want to be making that call, and I'm glad I'm not.
I'll keep my ear out on that one, Aaron, and I'm sure we'll be depacking that one. Bruce, oh no, sorry, Jared Ecclestone here. My apologies, Jared Ecclestone back down there in position 34, now into 33 as he gets past Nathan Cadman. Jared will be, oh, stand by. Jason Cossey being handed
181.
down. Yeah. Jason Cossey being handed down that drive-through penalty for a avoidable contact.
So race control able to come up with an answer relatively quickly there, so good work there. 3 of them in there making that decision, and they've obviously had a look at a few different angles and been able to come to an agreement there on Jason being at fault, and he is going to have to take a tour of the lane as a result of that.
That's that certainly adds on a wee bit of loss on position there, as we've seen most of the time the boys transitioning through pit lane and taking about 28 seconds for that to take place.
Bill Kilgour has been mostly keeping to himself in this race. Lap car going around him there. Well, a car putting a lap on him, I should say. Bill is the lapped car in this scenario, but doing a good job out there, giving plenty of room. We've got Chris Zalewski just ranging up onto the back of him now. Racecraft
Yeah,
NZ.
Chris. Yep, and Chris, that will be a position for him that he could potentially take away from Bill. But, as we said before, very much the same about Taylor and Darren. It's one thing to close the gap, it's another one to get by. But during all the rundown, Darren has been able to make a pass on Taylor, and now has a 1.6 second gap over him.
Just before you said that, I did just notice that Darren's name was ahead of Taylor's on the timing tower, and this is how it happened. Side by side on the run down the front straight. Darren getting the exit off the final corner and able to get alongside before the braking zone, and then just squeezes him out and gets the job done.
Nice bit of racing. Obviously, the gap's still in play. 2 seconds it's out to now, but we've still got lap traffic that the boys are moving through and contending with, and a few drivers out there that will still be needing to come in and grab. Well, actually, maybe not him anymore, grab last minute pit stops.
You know, I think everybody is good to go to the end from here. What will be interesting is if we get a late safety car. There'll probably be a split of who comes for fresh tyres, who doesn't, but then it's a hard one if you're near the front as well. You could potentially give up a lot of track position if you come in. So Chris Zaluski's just had to give way to, I think, Scott McKenzie there, putting a lap on him, and Scott is going to make his way around. Oh! Bill Lock in the rears, making slight contact with Scott, but both guys, particularly Scott, doing a good job to react to that and not have it turn into something quite major there. And Bill recovers. Just a small mistake there from Bill, locking the rears. Very easy to do in these cars. They're very tricky to get down through the gearbox, and unfortunately happened at a very awkward moment as Scott was trying to make his way around them.
There we go, and there's Bill coming back onto the track after running wide into the sand trap and dumping some more of the kitty litter there right on that fast exiting point.
Blake Greenhill going down the inside on Grant Bristow there, getting a spot up to 27th. Still trying to recover from that spin we saw him have just after the safety car. Unfortunately, hasn't been able to make a massive amount of progress. Still down 10 spots on where he started, but chipping away at it and picking up a spot there. Jason Cossey and Nico Cordy are both back in the pits. I wonder if these are incident penalties. Jason Cossey was the drive-through from race control, wasn't it? So that explains that one. Nico Cordia potentially going over that incident limit.
Yeah, just sitting on 25 points now. So a bit of a rough night for Nico there. A couple of wee bit of racing dramas, not to his own fault, but just kind of getting on with the racing. He's now gone through the pit lane.
So we are an hour and 25 minutes into this race. Our previous Enduro Cup races were always 90 minutes, so we're getting to the end of what that would be. I know from personal experience just how hard it is to get through one of those races. From here, we're asking these guys to do another 20 minutes from here, another 15 minutes onto that 90 that we're used to. These guys must be sitting there just absolutely dreading that, as Trent Bennett has a little moment there.
And I think that's just case in point. You know, Trent, a seasoned racer with us now. Even though these cars are slightly new, they've certainly been putting the work into chipping away at those laps. But fatigue, arm pump, the old sweats in the chair, even a bit of dehydration possibly could be becoming a few of these guys as we close towards the end. Plus they'll know that the end is near, and it's a bit easier to let yourself relax a little bit too soon as well. Make those small mistakes that can end up being larger ones. But we've got Dion here having a bit of a battle, I believe. Is that Jared Eggleston behind him having some fun together?
That's correct. Dion has just put a lap on Jared, but Jared certainly continuing to sit in behind and have a little bit of fun there. Dan Nolan, Eamon Young, and Matthew Gerard all into the pits.
Yeah, Den will be just doing a Dan's just done a drive through for his earlier involvement, apparently avoidable contact that don't make him laugh. I won't repeat what he said as he drove down pit lane, but it was a remark towards race control. I'll let you know off air, Shane, at the end.
So Matthew Gerard and Eamon Young, meanwhile, actually taking a pit stop, getting some fresh tyres, so they've opted for a two-stop strategy. Despite having put it later on than those guys that put it under yellow. I wonder if, I think they did actually come in a little bit earlier in that initial phase, didn't they? So they might have pre-planned a two-stop strategy, split the race into 3 equal parts, and they're looking to do the final quarter of an hour plus a little bit more on a fresh set of tyres, and we will keep a keen eye on where they end up with that strategy.
Yeah, so Matt's time there for his stop, just over 12 seconds. Jason Cossey's was a little bit longer. Sorry, I think I meant to say Eamon Young there.
Yeah, I think I threw you off because I jumped on to Jason Cossey.
Yeah. I looked up, saw the same car, different name. Hang on a minute. You've been doing it to me all evening, mate.
What, you mean like when I strategically jumped on Jared Eccleston before because I knew he was running the Megan Turbo paint?
Yes. He's battling with Brewston, Gerald Tannick. It's been certainly an exciting evening. Do enjoy hanging out doing the enduro races. The boys putting on a fantastic show once again. Scott McKenzie over Zach Christie there.
Yeah, got the meat of the sandwich a little bit. He's got Chris Upsleep just ahead. Zach just behind. I'm sure he'll be keen to try and move forward, but at the moment Zach is a little bit closer to his rear wing than what he is to Chris's rear wing.
And there, Zach just trying to get every last inch of extra drive out of his car coming down the front straight. So nice and close to the back of Scott McKenzie's car here, as they have the one of the longest section of black to the floor. Scott's got his car set up nicely to pull its way through the air. Maybe a wee bit of a gentle tap there on the back of Scott's car. Zach just in the middle of the braking point. But nonetheless, fantastic to see how these boys are doing their thing. Chris running a little bit wide, maybe catching some of the caddy litter debris on the track. Bit of a wheel lock for him has allowed Scott McKenzie to close in right onto the back of him now as well. Zach, if he's patient, might be able to find a way to get two birds, one stone, but he's not waiting around, this man here. He's had a great drive out of that corner and has been able to put the move on Scott. got now with the ability to counter that as Zach gets racy coming out of the last quarter. Defending Scott coming across his nose towards pit lane wall. He's been able to hold him off for now. Cool fucking racing. Looking back from Chris Sumpsich's car. So close that margin down here. Big late lunge on the brakes as we see him well and truly cover that gap. Probably a wee bit slower through the corner than what he wanted, and you see the gap difference get expanded again as Chris runs away. Chris getting, once again, pinching that front wheel and running wide towards the kitty litter a bit. That has allowed Zach Christie to go on by. Chris also falling past Scott McKenzie and Jason Cossey as well. He's now back alongside Leon. Leon up 23 spots to be sitting in P17. Still neck and neck.
Oh, runs
a little
wide.
bit.
Potentially will pick up a slowdown all the way out there. And there's contact. Oh, doing a good job to get out of the way as Darren Lobb and Taylor Mitchell were making their way through there.
Oh, that must have been very close to Taylor.
Yeah, it looked pretty close. Man, my...
So Chris actually giving that back to Leon there. So as we see, Leon down here ran just a little bit wide and upset the back of the car on the marbles. Run extra wide here as he's come back in the rejoin, being contact at the midpoint of the corner. It was certainly close. Probably could have been worse if Leon had held the brake and had continued sliding along the ripple strips, because then it could have gripped at any moment and launched forward, which wouldn't have been a nice day for Taylor.
Absolutely not.
Lucky to see him get on by that one. Darren almost reversing the gap distance lead that Taylor previously had over the field. He's got a 4.2 second gap currently over Taylor there. As we see another couple of lap cars in between those two. Coming across the line, lap 60 of the race, and just a little bit under 10 minutes of racing to go.
Yes, so Darren's done a great job tonight. He obviously made that mistake in qualifying that put him towards the back end of the top 10, and Taylor Mitchell was looking strong all night last night, all the way through practice, put it on pole, but Darren Lobb has just put a great race together, great strategy, made the right call. We know now it was the right call to put under safety car, because we saw how close he came out to Taylor Mitchell when he made that second stop, and he's been able to put those fresh tyres to good use and not only catch him and get by, but now get off up the road and open up, as you're saying, nearly a 5-second gap over Taylor Mitchell. So Taylor will be disappointed that he hasn't been able to, or isn't looking like he's going to be able to convert the race win and throw the pole position into a race win. Of course, anything can still happen, but at the moment it looks like Darren's got it under control. Potentially a late race safety car could change things. We are seeing that only the top 13 are still on the lead lap, so that would mean for Darren and Taylor, they wouldn't give up a huge amount of track position if they did choose to come in under safety car and get some fresh tyres on.
Yeah, that would, and again, anything could happen in regard to that, even though it's late into the race. Mistakes could still happen, and drivers are still very much racing for that position. So, there's still a close battle taking place inside the top 10, positions 5 and 6. I believe that the Bruce Tannock is closing in on Michael Gunstone. No, my apologies, the other way around. Is Peter Vanderberg close to the back of Bruce Tannock there. So that's positions 7 and 6.
And Peter and Bruce have actually just exchanged positions a couple of times recently as well, so we can see what happened there. Peter getting the draft down up the hill from turn 1 through turn 2, gets ahead, under brakes for turn 3. Bruce fights back and has the inside line and gets that position back.
And managed to make a great corner exit out of that as well, from coming in from the half-track point. I do believe Peter was probably a wee bit aware of his tyre usage and ability at that point if he wanted to defend or try and push coming out of that corner, resulting in some excessive tyre spinnage, which he wouldn't need, so just keep it nice and comfortable and carry on racing. He's still sitting pretty nicely glued to the back of his car there, so could be a draft run potential coming up as we see Bruce run quite wide, exiting the last corner. Bruce covering across quite defensively there on Peter, so he didn't have the inside line. He can run drive zone here as Peter was still just up on that yellow sausage a wee bit when he went to engage the gas and see it just slip off there, so not this time round.
He was able to close up significantly under brakes though, as a couple of jigsaw cars going on a lap down to these guys, I think.
Yeah, so it looks like we've got Leon Weir just getting past there, and possibly that will be Dan Nolan.
I think I saw Kilgour on the front of that car, car 70, so that's
sorry.
built.
Yep, you're correct. I was going to say, because it wasn't Dan, because he's up there in position 12. No doubt these guys in position 6 and 7 have gone that far around the track in front of them.
So Peter, we saw that little moment where he just got up on that sausage curve a little bit too much and got unsettled. He has been able to close in again off the back of that, so we'll look to put the pressure on once more, see if we can get a better run through turn 1 this time around. Still a couple of car lengths back from Bruce at peak speed there. Getting into turn 1, certainly holds it tighter this time around, stays almost completely off that sausage curb and tucks into the draft.
Both cars, I think, very equally balanced and poised on power as Bruce comes up on the back of Alan Scott. Some lap traffic there. Just ahead on Alan, I believe, will be I'm going to say Jeff Organ.
So I think this is going to be Glenn Collinson that we're going to be putting a lap down. Yep.
Yes,
I'll
I see.
of that was Glenn getting out of the way of both guys. Teammate of Peter Vandenberg could have tried to play the team game and hold up Bruce Tannock, but doing the fair thing and just getting well and truly out of that battle. So fair play there from Glenn.
And a bit of some damaging red bars coming up there, but Evan Young crashed, Dane Nordoth crash data.
I've got that showing there so we can see what happened here. Oh, Dane,
Ooh.
very deep under brakes, locking up there and just nowhere to go unfortunately, and waits up for Eamon to get back ahead there, so redressing that one, and
Yeah,
they will carry on.
yeah, interesting. I saw a few people talking, but I don't remember catching Eamon putting anything into race control there. Does Corey manage to hear anything differently?
No, I'm just sitting here quietly, just watching away. The time's ticking down. We're near the end, and there looks to be 9 cars on the lead lap. That's what I have picked up from that. And down the graph, up 32 spots is our biggest mover.
Yeah, I think we're going to get one more lap after the one that Darren is currently on. So it'll be 2 laps to go now for these guys, Peter and Bruce. Oh, Jason.
So if anyone,
Coffey.
I was going to say just quickly, anyone at home who hasn't put their number in or hasn't done it correctly via the Broadcasting Lounge YouTube channel, it's going to be done via that. The YouTube channel, Broadcasting Lounge, put your number 1 to 50, pick it there for your chance at winning the Supercars NZ Singlet. You've got approximately a minute left to do that, as we see cars coming across the line, finishing up what has been an awesome MRX Round 1 endurance event for the 2025 season.
So Jason Costley was in a battle with Zach Christie, but just had to give way to Taylor Mitchell there, and in the process of that had a big switch there as well. So thankfully it didn't end up putting him into contact with Taylor, as can so often happen, but he's pushing and he's just had another moment there over the sausage on the exit of turn 1 there, but Darren Lobb is on the final lap now. Time has run out, so next time around Darren is going to be taking the checkered flag, and he's had a good race. He came through, ultimately started in 8th despite finishing the top 10 in 10th with not putting a lap down, but a couple of guys in the top 10 not making the start tonight, so that promoted Darren up to P8, and he came through, pitted under safety car. That was ultimately looked to have been a genius strategy call, and it's actually worked for Leo Duncan as well. He's also made two stops, pitted in the second time on the same lap as Darren, so identical strategy to what Darren ran, and it's put Leo onto the podium. Although that is down 1 spot from where he started also, so but that's
It's still
really
good to
maintaining once Darren's made his way through, as he has, with a strong performance tonight, and he's going to come home. He's pulled out 8 seconds over Taylor Mitchell now, and Darren Lobb brings it home to take out the first MRX Enduro for 2025, as the series will be contested across the full year this year. Taylor Mitchell holds on, or comes home to finish P2. Leo Duncan not too far behind in the end to round out the podium in 3rd place.
Leo getting out of there really quickly. It's just gone on 10 o'clock at night, so maybe bedtime for an early start tomorrow calls him, as we watch Roger Forberg, currently sitting in 4th spot, come round through the last complex of corners. And he will do it. He will come across the line there in 4th spot, just ahead of Michael Gunstone. 1.3 second gap between them. Bruce Tannock and Peter Vanderberg finishing up what was a awesome last few laps to watch. Daniel Heddershire down 3 spots from where he started, coming across the line there in 8th as we click back to Dion de Graaf. About 30 seconds astray from those boys, and he has Trent Bennett close in behind him. Should solidify positions 9 and 10 as long as Dion gets around the final corner here. He does, very nice. Trent Bennett and then Phil Carpenter making our 11th spot finish there. Dan Nolan and Zach Christie finishing in 12th and 13th. Coming up to the final complex of corner here. We'll make 14th. Oh,
I think he's actually on an in-lap. He was a lap down, so I think he had already come across the line and just
cool.
wrap it up an in-lap there.
Nice. So there you go. So that finishes out 14th there. Scott McKenzie, Michael Jones 15th, 16 over John O'Gibson and was up Chris Upsich. Matt Gerard up 17 spots to finish on 19th. Is a great result for him. Nico Cordia finishing in P20, down 7 from where he started. And finishing up positions 21 through to the end of the pack reads off as Eamon Young, Dane Northdirth, Matt Priest, Glenn Collinson, Leon Weir, Heath Mahone, Ross Watson, Grant Bristow, Blake Greenhall, Jared Eccleston, Nathan Cadman, Thomas McCall, Steve Arthur, Chris Zalewski, Steve Darren, Bill Kilger, Jeff Horgan, Dylan Radford, a couple of laps down there on the lead cars, and also then Alan Scott finishing a total of 62 laps of the race, and only one driver not getting through to the end, John Lee. So 40 cars out there tonight, and only one car not completing the race. Is a mighty fine bit of driving from the boys that attend the Supercars NZ and have taken on round 1 of the MRX Racing Sims Endurance Series for the season 1 of 2025.
We need a wheel with 39 on it, and that is thanks to MRX, the sponsor for the evening. We'll have $50 to give away to one of the drivers that finished, and we will spin another wheel with the 50 numbers on it, and we'll see who gets the closest.
Yep, so this one has got 1 to 39.
Fantastic. So this is for the driver tonight.
Oh, it doesn't quite tick over to P1. Imagine if that had
Wow.
gone to Darren again.
2 nights in a row, yeah.
That's Bill Kilgore on my timing.
Very
36,
nice.
I can confirm, Bill Kilgour.
Well
Sorry,
done,
Gow.
Bill. And we'll duck that away for a minute while we add a few more numbers onto there.
Awesome stuff. So that's $50 cash bonus there for Bill, recently retired, out there playing some golf today, and come along for an hour and 45-minute hoon in the V8 supercars, finishing in P36, down 6 spots for him, but I'm sure he had a great time doing it. We'll see if Bill's there. I'll quickly drag him up and let him know that he's won that one.
Hey, say, Shawnee.
Hey, sorry, Bill, we've just dragged you up into the broadcasting lounge quickly, cut you off partway through your conversation there.
G'day, mate.
Out there swinging some clubs today, Bill?
Oh, you having a bit of practice, mate? I'm going on the seniors tour.
Nice stuff. Well, we can tell you something. When you go along on the seniors tour, you'll
Yeah.
have a lovely $50 prize thanks to MRX that you can contribute to the beer kitty on the 19th hole.
Oh, that's very nice. What's that for?
That there, mate, was just for turning up and finishing the race.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So out of the 39 of the 40 that started, you were one of them, and we did the MRX winning wheel of Shane tonight, and number 36 came up, which was your finishing position. So
Oh,
$50 cash monies thanks to MRX
oh,
coming your way.
thank you, MRX. It's yeah, I was just talking to the boys down in the other Discord that it was a pretty clean race. She was fairly tight on the old incident points, though. A few of us were tiptoeing around at the end there.
Yeah, but that's it's still pretty good job from a short track with that many cars out there.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty good, pretty clean racing. Oh, that's good, mate. Thank you.
Not
Thank
a
you,
Well
MRX.
done, Bill. Well done. There you go,
problem.
Bill. The Tanas getting some more merch from
It's
again.
been a while since I've won something. That might buy some golf balls, actually. Cause
I was just about to
I
say
tend to
that.
lose a couple of those every now and then.
All
I
right,
don't know
so
where they go.
we'll
But
be moving on to the we'll just chuck Bill down,
Yes, Bill.
and we're moving on now to the Supercars NZ segment to one of the viewers. Now there is a couple of comments that were retracted. So Scott Esports is retracted as 24, and he's obviously keeping the 19. But they're all here in the chat we've got here. Your chat there, Shane. That's what we'll get it off as long as it's got a YouTube symbol beside it.
Yep. Alright, so let's go. We've got 1 to 50 up. And we're spinning, we're spinning, we're spinning.
Number 9. Number 9. Oh.
23. Oh, if Scott Esports had not retracted as 24, he might have been the closest there. Although,
Shane,
oh,
no,
that's Facebook.
No,
Oh,
no,
oh,
that's
yep, sorry, yep,
Here we
YouTube,
go.
24.
Yep.
Oh,
there's a
here we
23.
go.
oh, DCJGG, 23. Well done.
So we don't know
And
who that
there's-
is.
And
DC.
there's no other 23s out there. So DCJGG, if you're still with us, flick us a message on here if you like, or probably what's best is if you actually flick us a message on Supercars NZ through the messenger there, or alternatively you can find our Discord details and put a message into the general chat, and we'll be able to link up who you are with the details that cross-reference, and we'll be able to sort you out with a Supercars NZ singlet. Unless anyone else out there in the wide world knows who that is, they can alternatively flick that person or that driver a message, and they can message on their behalf. But yeah, we'll look forward to hearing from you, and thank you for being hopefully being a subby of our YouTube channel. I'm guessing that's why you were there. And congratulations on your win tonight for the singlet.
Yeah, hopefully DCJ can get in touch with us, and yeah, we'll do our best to get that singlet to where it needs to go. But big thanks to MRX for backing the MRX Enduro Cup for 2025, and of course SimLabs, thanks to Allports, sponsoring the V8s every Tuesday night, and we're going to be back with our regular season action next week.
Well, actually, we go to 2 heat rounds to finish out the season. So next week we're at Sandown, so there'll be 2 heat races, and then Oran Park, 2 heat races, double points up for grabs to finish up the season for both Div 1 and Div 2. So we'll have Div 2 next week, and we'll finish out the season with Div 1. And of course, where are we going on Thursday, lads? None other than Detroit for GTE racing. So that should be pretty exciting. I reckon.
You might be a week ahead of yourself there, Corey.
Oh, is it Imola?
Imola, yes.
Oh, it's Imola. I am a weekend. I see Detroit in there, and it's next week every week now.
Not to downplay Imola by any respects, but yes, Detroit will be a good one to watch out for. But that's not until the week after. Amazingly, we are combing through this season so fast, and we'll be getting things prepared for a new season coming to you in the not too distant future. We'll start making some plans very soon around that and see what exciting changes we have ahead as we roll into the second season for 2025. Where does the time go?
Yeah, it absolutely flies by. So we're going to be into the autumn season before long. But big thanks to you, Doug and Corey, for joining me in the lounge tonight.
Yeah, footy season up the waz.
Very good. And yeah, no, big thank you to you, Shane, for helping put on the stream this evening. My my machine certainly wouldn't have been able to handle it as I hit pause on my own channel at the beginning of the race due to a series of flashings and stuff. So I've just been solely watching your lovely presented stream this evening. It's been a fun time doing it here once again. The trio of us. Thank you, Corey, and thank you, Shane.
And thanks everybody at home for tuning in. We will see you all next time.